close this, right? Kimona doesn't see you live. Do you hear me talking? See, I don't see you. Oh, we need to see the board. And you're no different than a board. You do your That would just pit me. We're live, you know. Well, you're on with me, duh. Turn your camera off. I see you. Tracy, can you turn your camera on?
Hello?
Can you turn your camera on for me?
Just turn it off?
No, turn it on for me.
More.
I hear you. Do you hear me?
So is that the same as starting the video?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Perfect. I just see you on here, but I don't see you on YouTube.
Let me see more.
It's not you, Tracy. It's not you. We're good.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm going to stop this and I'm going to join in just a minute. I'm going to end the meeting for everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I see. Tracy, we're still live, so give us just a minute.
Yes, ma'am.
It's like it. Angie, can you turn on your camera? I want to make sure it's working on YouTube. Thank you. Angie, can you say something?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, I see you. So it's only doing whoever's talking. There we go. Thank you. Board Member Weiss, can you turn your camera on? There we are. Give me
Hi
just a
there.
minute. I want to make sure it's on YouTube. Dr.
Absolutely.
Borsche, can you turn your camera on? Sign him off. Board Member Weiss, can you say something?
Hi there.
Perfect. Vice President Davis, can you say something for me? We are live.
Hello.
Thank you. Board Member Hubbard, can you say something for me? And turn your camera on. Ms. Shamika, I see you. Can you say something?
Hello.
Perfect. And we are live. Board Member Hubbard, did you say something for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Chief of Staff, Dr. Crapo, can you say something for me?
Hi, Cheryl. Can you hear me?
I can, thank you. Ms. Henry, we are live. Hi, Dr. Scarlett, can you say something to me? And we are live.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Borshade, we haven't tested your mic or your camera. Can you turn it on for me? President Cousins, can we check your microphone and your camera? And we are live. Great, I see you. Can you say something for me? We can test your mic.
You talk to me, Ms. Benoit.
Perfect, yes. Thank you.
Sorry, I was updating.
You're good, thank you. We are live at this point. Ms. Fowler's in the waiting room. I've let her in. Let me let her in again. Board Member Val, can you say something for me? We are live. I do see you, but I don't hear you yet.
I'm here. Has everyone else joined yet?
Perfect, thank you.
Board member Jones needed the link.
I'm resending it to her. She was just getting out of jury duty.
Mm.
Does everyone have a copy of the agenda?
Yes.
Dr. Borchert, I do see you. Can you say something? And we are live.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you.
I see Ms. Jones is coming on. Ms. Henry, I'm gonna give it about a minute, and then once Ms. Jones come on, I wanna go ahead and get a motion to get started. Did everyone get a copy of the documents that Ms. Henry had the opportunity to send over? Everyone should have a copy of both resolutions as well as the bylaws of the updated policies that the board approved in the September's board meeting. I saw Ms. Jones and then I lost her.
This
I
is
just-
this is
I just
Natalie.
let
I'm
her in the
sorry, I
room.
didn't see the bylaws or what that has to do with the meeting today. Or I'm sorry, what did I miss there?
It's the policies, Ms. Val, what you all did in the governance committee. And we approved the policies with the change of the community engagement.
Oh, I thought we had already approved that.
We did approve it. It's just part of the discussion for today's meeting, for today's special session.
So just a point of information, but not a vote.
No, yes, nothing to be approved, just a point of information.
Okay, gotcha.
Board Member Jones, we see you're in the room. Can you unmute and turn your camera on and touch your mic, please? And we are live.
Hello. All right.
There you go, Secretary Jones. Hello.
Hey,
All right, Ms. Henry, if everyone is all here, can I get a motion to proceed for open session, please? I need a motion.
Make a motion to go to open the Zoom session.
I think we just call roll. You just call it to order, Tony.
You want to go to the
Here.
Mr. Hikes,
Present.
Ms. Weiss,
Here.
Ms. Fowl,
Here.
Ms. Hubbard,
here.
Ms. Jones,
here.
Mr. Davis,
Here.
Ms. Cousins.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, with the purpose of this meeting, we're going to go into the agenda. The top of the agenda is we're going to talk about the document that was sent over. The first discussion I want to talk about is our signups. Per the document we have it where we have public comment for the people to actually sign up. We should have it where, or we have the obligation or the opportunity for people to actually have up to 10 people, 10 to 15 people have the opportunity to sign up. We have 30 minutes for public comment. The way we should have it per the policy that we have presented before us is that they have the opportunity to sign up before the meeting, up to 10 or 15 people. After the 10 or 15 people have signed up, we need to have it cut off and the people need to be notified thereafter that public comment has been cut off. I think what's happening is we are not informing the public that that's our process. We did vote as to how it should go. It was stated, the document that has been provided to everyone, the document that we voted and approved on, the challenge is that that document has not and has yet to be published and posted on our website. It needs to be posted on the website, and we need to make sure that we're providing some level of communication to the public. One of the ways that I think and hope would help is if we provide that to the PTO meetings, to the PAC and other means of communication, so people would know that this is the policy that has gone into effect, and it looks like that has been challenging for the community to understand what the policy is. One of the things that I thought I kind of explained during the meeting was if you have constantly made public comment at each meeting, and we've had opportunities where people have not had the opportunity to make public comment, then what we were trying to do is give those that opportunity. So I just wanted to make sure that the board understood that, and that the people understood that this is what the policy is. This is what the board actually voted on in the September meeting. So we need to make sure that we have a process in place that that information is being disseminated to the community accordingly. Board Member Hubbard, I see that you have your hand up.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to table discussion on these items because we've only received them an hour before.
Second.
Well, you haven't received those items an hour before. Those are actually items that you had in the governance committee meeting.
No, I'm speaking of all the items, the resolutions, I guess. This was listed as an agenda item. I didn't know what that meant. But I don't feel that we've been given sufficient time to deal with the other documents.
I would like to second that because I've just got done with work and so I haven't even had time to look at the documents.
So you're asking that we table the resolution items?
Yes, ma'am.
It's
I
been
mean, I'm
moved-
making a motion.
So you're asking for a motion. It's been moved and second. Is there a discussion to table the resolution?
I would just say that in terms of the one concerning Believe Charter School, that in the statute, there is an opportunity for Board of Education, if we had been provided notice of the hearing and the application, which we were not, to object before that hearing went forth in the State Board of Education, and the State Board of Education is holding their meeting tomorrow. So there is a time component to that.
I get the urgency of it, but it just seems unfair that we don't have the opportunity to really thoroughly review these documents. Just in glancing at it, I noticed some inaccuracies. So
Board Member Sadie, what inaccuracies do you notice?
That's not on topic.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, it's not on topic. So it's been moved and second. Is there any other discussion regarding the resolution?
My only discussion, this is Natalie, I'm sorry. My only discussion is the same concern that I think that I understand where everyone's coming from, or where board members Hubbard and Ms. Sadie are coming from about wanting to review the documents. And I also understand Vice President Davis's concern about the urgency of it. And sometimes when we have to pass resolutions, we can't review all of these. So having maybe going forward, maybe this is not ideal. Of course, I mean, we were asked about this meeting about our availability on Friday. And I know that Matt had done a lot of work to scramble together these resolutions, but maybe going forward, the legislative committee will have some ready to go language in working with our lobbyist and the committee itself, so that we are all well versed in our stance and we don't have to rely on one-off resolutions. And maybe the newer board members can feel more confident in that process. So I guess I see both sides, but a lot of times there are these issues that come up that we have to vote on to advocate for our students that may not be perfect. And the process isn't perfect because we're out of control of this process. We don't choose when the state board meets.
But when did we find out they were meeting? I guess is my question.
I guess the question you, Ms. Hubbard, is when did you find out that they were meeting?
When you told me. I wasn't. I know that I can always ask questions, but I was not fully informed of why the urgency was. And there's, even if I had gotten it the document this morning instead of an hour before the meeting. There's definitely, we misspelled Missouri. We say July instead of August. We could have collaborated to make it a better document.
So if your proposal is to table it, when should we resume this discussion? What's an adequate amount of time for you to review it, to provide your feedback?
I know that if we table it, it will not be worthwhile. I'm sorry.
So what are
So
you
I-
asking, Board Member Hubbard?
So my concern with tabling it rather than working through the issues with amended motions is that we won't get to actually discuss it or pass a resolution or take any action for advocacy. So when my recommendation would be that when the resolution comes up, if this motion to table doesn't pass and we do discuss the resolution, or maybe modifying the motion on the table to discuss the resolution with edits. So those modifications could say things like strike such word July in line 3 and replace with August or whatever it may be, so that we can work out the kinks in the resolution to everyone's satisfaction. And I know it's kind of on the fly, but if we could work through those things together as a team and everybody has some buy-in to this resolution, since we couldn't do it beforehand, there wasn't a lot of time. That would be my strong preference, to just vote on this and work through it together and get through it.
I'm agreeing with, I would like to see us vote on this and then make the edits and the resolutions and however we need to do it, because the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, they don't always keep us informed to their meetings in a timely fashion. So I really hate to miss this opportunity.
I think my question that I have is, we all knew that no one was shocked to know that Believe was trying to open up another charter school, or that this charter school was coming down the pipeline. So it's kind of like, at this point, some action needed to be taken. The legislative committee it was brought to the legislative committee that this was occurring. I guess my question is, at what point would somebody take action? So we're trying to take action to address it. If there's concerns about some verbiage or wording in it, I agree with Natalie as well as Ms. Jones that we can get together and make whatever corrections that need to happen. But right now, we're not operating on the best of time. So if there's a meeting tomorrow before the state board, and this resolution would make or break that decision, I think it will be in the best interest of this board to move forward with this resolution, with whatever corrections that need to be made. Is there any other discussions regarding the resolutions? Is there any other discussions? It's been moved and second to table the resolutions.
Just Emily, did you want to modify your motion, or did you want to stick with the original? Because I guess it kind of got stuck in what I was saying, got lost in there. Did you want to offer, if I offer a friendly amendment, to move to work through the resolutions versus?
I will take a friendly amendment on the resolution about Believe. If you're still here to make it.
Are you asking me to make that?
Yes, please.
Okay, so what would happen procedurally is that you would accept the friendly amendment, and then you would restate your motion, and the person who originally seconded would withdraw their second, or you would withdraw your motion and then make a new one. And then that could be open for the same person or another person to second that motion. That motion. Does that make sense?
I think so. So I would like to modify my motion.
And then Sadie, do you want to second the modification once Emily makes it?
Sure, I will.
To table the discussion of the resolution about the leave. But if there's any other items on the agenda, I still want to table them and move them to the work session. I think that's my motion.
Okay, so that would go to Sadie to resecond that or have the option to resecond. No obligation.
So I would, okay, I resecond the.
I mean, technically you're supposed to withdraw and, you know, withdraw the second, but I think the procedure here is clear enough, I hope.
Okay.
That
So I
the
would need-
original amendment is being modified.
Okay, so withdraw the second. Would that be correct, Natalie?
Yes, and then you would second Emily's new motion.
Okay, and second the motion that was just made by Board Member Hubbard.
So with that said, I
So
need
now
a
what we're voting on, the motion on the table is, let's just restate that for clarity so everyone knows.
Do I have to restate it?
Usually goes to the chair to restate, but
Okay.
go ahead. If Tony,
I
if
got
you
it.
understand, go
I
ahead
got it,
and
Nat.
restate it.
I got it, Natalie. I need a motion to approve the believes resolution.
I make
With
a
the-
motion. Go ahead.
With the edited corrections.
Hold on, there's an active motion that's been seconded on the table that has to be voted yes or no before it can proceed with a new motion.
Okay. It's okay. Ms. Henry, I'm sorry.
Mr. Hikes,
So at this stage, we are, just so I'm correct, we are voting down Ms. Hubbard's resolution, putting that down, just table it, correct? We're voting down, tabling it, so we can go forward. I'm just making sure I'm in the right
If
order.
that is your inclination to vote against the motion that's on the table, the motion on the table is to move forward with the resolution and working through it, but tabling the other items that are not time sensitive, I believe is how Emily stated it. Am I correct, Emily?
Yes, that works.
Right.
So that's a yes or a no on tabling the other items.
These got kind of confusing. All right. The motion on the table now is to do what?
The motion on the table is to move forward with believes with the correction, but to table the other resolution.
Okay, so that's it. Okay, good. All right, I'm with that. Okay. Yes.
Ms. Weiss,
Yes.
Ms. Val,
Yes.
Ms. Hubbard,
Yes.
Ms. Jones,
Abstain.
Mr. Davis,
No.
Ms. Cousins,
No,
motion passed.
Mr. Hikes, you look like you have a question.
Did you mean to vote a different way, Tracy?
I was under the impression, and I could be wrong, I've been wrong before, that we were tabling Ms. Hubbard's wanting to postpone everything so we can move forward on.
That is correct. So she wanted to table the other things and move forward on the resolution, and you voted in favor of that motion.
Move forward on the resolution.
No,
Yes.
he's up under the assumption that we are not tabling anything, that we're moving forward with the resolution and that we're going to discuss the next resolution. But the way that it's been presented, we're tabling the next resolution.
Right. And I want to move forward.
With both resolutions.
Correct. So something got jacked up
Okay,
in my
so
head.
then you would vote no on that motion.
Okay, then. All right. Thank you. Sorry, it just got jumping up in my head. Sorry.
Would you like to clarify your vote?
Yes, I would like to clarify my vote. Meaning, I would like to
Rescind your vote,
rescind my vote because I would like to move forward on the resolution,
both resolutions.
on both
So,
resolutions.
so that's a no to the motion that's on the table, though, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so
Thank you.
then the motion now has 3 votes and does not carry.
So Ms. Val,
Yes, Tony.
so we're asking for a motion. But now we're asking for a motion for the resolution of believers.
Yeah, we can move on to that now that this one's been voted upon.
So I'm asking for a motion for the resolution for believers.
I'll move to approve the resolution directed to the State Board of Education regarding the charter application of Believe STL Academy.
Is there a
Second with discussion.
Is there a second with discussion? Is there any discussions for this
Second.
motion? Any discussions?
Yeah, just the only discussion is to allow board members who have any issues with the resolution to work through any typos or language errors and perfect it in this session. So I just wanted to open that up for everyone to, before it's voted on, to make alternate additional motions to amend language.
Is there any other discussions? It's been moved and second to make corrections.
So now would be the time if anybody has corrections to make those motions, the secondary motions.
So, I'm sorry, go on, Tony.
It's been moved and second to make to approve the resolution for believers for for the state board resolution with corrections needed of the board. Any other discussions? Board Member Hubbard, did you have a question?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the 6th paragraph, it says in August 2023, we approved the citywide plan. That was in July. And let's see. The second paragraph from the bottom it should be Missouri Charter School, and Missouri is misspelled.
I will make a motion. Oh, anything else?
I guess in the future, I would love to see references for where our number data came from, but I don't think we can fix that now.
I will make an amendment to the resolution to make the clerical changes suggested by Ms. Hubbard, changing August to July and correcting the spelling of Missouri.
I second.
Any other discussions? Ms. Henry?
Mr. Hikes,
Yes.
Ms. Weiss,
Yes.
Ms. Val,
Just a point of clarity, are there any other edits in that motion?
I'm
Just that one?
just going forward with the ones made by Ms. Hubbard. If there's others, we can do additional to amend.
Okay. Yes.
Ms. Hubbard,
Yes.
Ms. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Cousins,
Yes.
motion passed.
On to the U.S. Department of Education resolution. I need a
Hold
motion.
on. But point of order, Ms. President Cousins, that was just to amend the resolution. We still have to vote to adopt it.
Oh, my apologies. I need a motion to adopt the resolution per the corrections.
That's already on the, we just need to vote on that one now.
I thought so. To adopt the resolution for the DESE Board of Education against Believers. Ms. Henry. I mean, second.
Wait, has that not been moved and seconded?
I
Am I
thought
am I
it
lost?
was. I
It's
thought
been
it
That
was.
was the main motion, and then we had an amendment to vote on, and now we're back to voting on the main motion, so we don't need another second, right?
I thought it was, but Ms.
Yeah.
Henry,
Mr. Hikes,
Yes.
Ms. Weiss,
Yes.
Ms. Val,
Yes.
Ms. Hubbard,
Yes.
Ms. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Cousins,
yes.
motion passed.
I need a motion for the U.S. Department of Education resolution.
I make a motion for the. We're sending this out.
Yes, for the U.S. Department of Education.
I make a motion to send out the information to the Department of Education.
I second. Is there a discussion?
I just wanted to give some background on this, and this sort of came up. I think it was last week at the invitation of President Cummings of the American Federation of Teachers. He invited President Cousins and I to a Zoom meeting with national members of AFT and a representative from the Secretary of the Department of Education's office. It was in response to a letter which Mr. Cummins had sent to them objecting to the recent announcement that the Opportunity Trust received a $35.5 million grant for charter school expansion in the state of Missouri. We had a very good conversation with the representative from that office, who explained that it was just simply a division of the Department of Education who gives out these charter school grants. Of particular concern to us was that in the application, the Opportunity Trust cited, and this was a requirement for the grant, collaboration and cooperation with St. Louis Public School District. And their number one example was the Consortium Partnership Network. We've been through this many times. We've been assured that the Opportunity Trust had nothing to do with the Consortium Partnership Network. Regardless of that history, and it's present in the resolution to make clear to the Department of Education that that is erroneous, that the Board of Education is not collaborating or in partnership with the Opportunity Trust in any endeavor, and that even if at one point they were involved with the Consortium Partnership Network, this board voted to not renew the Consortium Partnership Network last year. The representative from the Department of Education indicated that it would be very helpful to her office if the board notified them of that discrepancy and asking for them to reconsider that. It's unlikely that they will, but what she did say was that would generate a review of the program and perhaps additional scrutiny going forward in terms of how that money is allocated. So in talking with President Cousins, we thought it would be best to bring that as a resolution to the entire board so we could all consider that clarification rather than just a letter from President Cousins. And so since we were having this special meeting, thought it would be a good idea to include it at this time.
Thanks, Matt. Can I ask for some clarification around this paragraph where it does say, whereas the Board of Education of the City of St. Louis does not have a working relationship with, oh, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong one. Board of the City of St. Louis voted to not renew the Consortium Partnership Network. Obviously, it's the Community Partnership Network now, but to my understanding, that's not correct, that voted to not renew. I'm sorry, Matt, could you provide a little bit more clarity on this paragraph?
Sure. So the situation that happened last year was the previous memorandum of understanding was a 3-year memorandum of understanding with the Consortium Partnership Network nonprofit, who was then governed by a board that did actually include a former partner in the Opportunity Trust. it had an auto renewing feature to it. So it was a situation where if the board did not take action, it would have auto renewed for a third year. So at the time, the board voted to terminate that MOU so as it wouldn't auto renew. My recollection, and I've recently gone back to those board meetings and rewatched the discussion, because after we terminated the MOU, there was discussion, but there was never much action taken. So the basis of allowing the community partnership network to continue was that the bylaws of that organization were changed to change the governmental structure, to eliminate those individuals who were appointed by, I think, the mayor and the president of the board of aldermen, and to give more control to the teachers as well as the Board of Education with input from AFT. We have not redone the MOU. So the discussion back then was there was going to be a new MOU presented for the board to consider under the community partnership network and the new governance structure. That has never been voted on. But the point being, the board did take affirmative action to end the consortium partnership network, which was this organization that they cited to that was supposed to be under this portfolio model of schools. That was ended. There was no memorandum of understanding with the Board of Education in terms of the 3 employees of the nonprofit. The discussion was if we ended it altogether, that would cause some chaos for those 3 employees. So at the time, the board voted to, or I guess I don't even know if we voted, we just didn't vote, didn't take any other additional action to allow those 3 employees to continue to be employed by the CPN board in its newly constituted form, and however they were being paid, they were going to continue to be paid. So that's been a year. We still don't have an MOU, but does that make sense? And if you haven't, I urge all the new board members, if you're interested in this, go back and I can get you the dates and watch those board meetings discussion. I think it was a series of 3 board meetings where we were essentially negotiating with Dr. Adams in real time.
Okay, thank you for that. I just wanted to make sure that in this, document before voting on it, that that was clear, because it kind of made it seem like it was like the community partnership network was no longer a thing, but I appreciate that clarification. Thank you.
Any other discussions?
I'm sorry. I just, I don't like the CPN at all. I've been vehemently opposed to it from the very start. The way it was structured and everything, and this discussion really is upsetting to me just to even talk about it, because they operated under such false pretenses. And here we are again. They never reorganized, never. And so I hope that in the near future, we have a real serious discussion about the CPN, because they need to go somewhere. I hate the way they lied to us, and they lied with the attorneys as well. And then one disappeared after that because they didn't want to put the real financial numbers on the table. I just hate people to lie to the school district. That's all.
I think the challenge is that the Opportunity Trust was able to actually receive $35 million in grant from the U.S. Department of Education by stating that they were working in conjunction with St. Louis Public Schools by doing the community consortium plan, and that all the work that they were doing with St. Louis Public School and that particular program and project is one in part as to why they were able to get this $35 million. That's what brought the resolution from the part of the district and the board as to why we're saying that we need to let the U.S. Department of Education know that that's not true. That's false information. We had no knowledge that we were even a part of the grant that they even submitted to the U.S. Department of Education, and that we need to put people on notice that you cannot include us in a grant. You cannot falsely provide information to say that these things were occurring and they were not occurring. And based on the information that had been provided at this point, that they have now been able to receive $35 million to now move forward and open up more schools and do the due diligence of things that they've been able to do which is have the opportunity to move forward and open up a Believers Charter School and other charter schools, which clearly is showing that the population of the city of St. Louis does not call for something of that magnitude. If we just recently had to support closing when they had to close inadvertently Hawthorne School 2 or 3 days before school started, and we had to scramble to assist schools of that situation, that this doesn't make sense. The city does not hold space for something like that. We continue to go around and around in circles, and it just doesn't make sense. It's not good for the city, it's not good for our families, nor is it good for the children that we're trying to serve. So that's really one of the biggest reasons why we're trying to push to make a statement to the U.S. Department of Education, especially for them to come before the St. Louis Public School, do the tour, talk to the superintendent, show all the great things that they're trying to do in regards to Medicaid and Medicare, but then you turn around and provide $37 or $35 million, even though you say it's a different department. That's something that kind of brings pause to something we need to be questioning what's really going on. So that's where I stand, or that's where I feel the district should stand in regards to why this resolution really needs to be kind of presented to the Department of Education. Will it matter? We don't know, but we need to make some level of statement.
I have one copy editing note. In the 4th paragraph, there's an extra A after the city of St. Louis. And has the school district board, have we contacted Opportunity Trust and called them on it? Or is this like going to Department of Education the best pathway?
This is just in response to the meeting that was set up by AFT and the request of the individual from the secretary's office that we contact them and she said that the hope was then it will activate a review, whatever that means. I don't know, but this was just fulfilling her request. I mean, certainly they know that what they said was not true. If you go and compare the language in their application to comments in that St. Louis Magazine article that came out last year, the complaint then was that they were not involved. And yet now when they have to demonstrate that they are having some sort of relationship with the school district in order to get $35 million, they misrepresent that fact. And so I think I'll just leave it at that.
I mean, on my end, no board member Hubbard, we didn't contact Opportunity Trust because Opportunity Trust unfortunately didn't contact us when they submitted the grant and put us in the grant, saying that we were a part of working with them. So I didn't really feel a need that we should contact them because they didn't feel a need to contact us.
Okay.
When they got the $37 million. That's
Okay.
my...
I guess this itself will do the work of saying that they misrepresented the truth. I'm against.
Is there any more discussions? It's been moved in second. Do you want to do the with the corrections of board member Hubbard to that resolution?
Okay, so I make a sub motion
Amendment.
to the motion to strike out the first A in the 4th paragraph.
Second.
It's been moved second to make an amendment to the correction to the resolution. Is there any other discussions or amendments needed to the resolution? Ms. Henry?
Mr. Hikes,
Yes.
Ms. Weiss,
Yes.
Ms. Hubbard,
Yes.
Ms. Fowle, Ms. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Cousins,
Yes.
Ms. Fowle. Motion passed.
Sorry, I'm just getting back on. Mark me as abstain for that one. I didn't hear what it was.
That's okay. Is there any other discussions? Is there a motion to close?
I make a motion to close the,
I'm sorry, did we
We have
vote on
to-
the underlying motion or was that just the amendment?
That was just the amendment.
Okay, so we need to
I'm
vote
sorry.
on the motion as amended. So I'll call the question on the motion as amended.
I make a motion, may I make a motion to,
It's been, you just have to, it's on the floor, the as amended.
Call the roll.
Resolution to the U.S. Department of Education
Ms.
regarding
Henry?
the trust grant.
Ms.
Mr.
Henry?
Hikes, Mr. Hikes,
yes,
Weiss,
Yes.
Ms. Hubbard,
Yes.
Ms. Vaughn,
Yes.
Ms. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Cousins,
Yes.
motion passed.
President Cousins, before we close, did you want to return to the conversation about the sign-ins for?
I just wanted to make sure that, that you all as board members were clear and we understand where we are in regards to the policy, in regards to the community engagement portion on what was voted on. It appears what's happening is Ms. Henry is actually upstairs doing closed session when it's time for sign-in for the public, for the public comment portion. So we need to have some plan of action as to how or what that will look like. We have 50 people that actually signed up. And the way that the setup should be, we should have it where we only have 30 minutes for public comment, and per the community engagement policy, the way it's set up. Go ahead, Ms. Donna.
I'm sorry. I'm getting Madison in the front door. Sorry. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. So we need to have some structure put into place as to how or what that would actually look like in regards to the sign up. Once the sign up happens, we get to 10 to 15 people that do public comment. We need to cut it off and we need to have it where we're informing the public that we're at capacity in regards to sign up, and we need to be able to send some form of notice and informing them.
President Cousin, can I ask a question, please?
Yes, ma'am.
During this process, are we taking people's ID and while they're putting down their information? Because I just hope that we're verifying who these people are, who they say they are. Because the way things happened, the last board meeting, it got kind of dangerous. It was dangerous to me. I felt endangered. And I don't know, some of these people, I don't know where they're coming from. And I would like to have a written record or have a copy of their ID or something so that we know who is speaking to us.
Superintendent Scarlett, and I don't know, I see Attorney Major is on the call. I don't know where, and Colonel Davis, where we are protocol wise. Is that something, and should that be something for the safety, for the precaution of us as board members? Where do we stand with that?
There's no legal issue with asking for that on the front end. We can certainly all discuss maybe at our next cabinet meeting and talk about different ways to approach that so that we get an idea of who exactly the people are. We had some ideas earlier, so we can certainly bounce that around and bring back to you.
I see Dr. Scarlett saying she's having microphone challenges. Note taken, Secretary Jones, I agree. There was some serious safety concerns in the way the setup was. We do need to make sure we're looking at, and that's why I wanted to make sure everyone got a copy of what we actually approved, to make sure we do understand what our guidelines are, and we do need to make sure we have safety protocols in place as well when it comes to the board members and the staff as well. So that's why I wanted to make sure we definitely discuss the sign-up procedures. And we do need to enforce a lot of things that I noticed that were not being enforced especially when it came to protocol. Are there any other discussions?
My microphone is working now, in case you did have a question for me, just letting you know.
Okay.
Go water.
Is there any other discussions or questions regarding public comment?
Tony, is there a way we can like have printed copies of this for folks as they're coming in the door? Is that something that we've done in the past, like have our procedures there? I know you said disseminating to the public, which I think is a wonderful idea, getting into parent PTO meetings and such, but can we just have some there when they're signing up?
On the agenda, if I'm not mistaken, Ms. Henry, I think that is actually on the agenda. The agenda is actually passed out at the board meeting. So
That's right, it's on the bottom of it.
Yeah, what I was reading, what I read at the beginning of the meeting, all of that information is actually at the bottom of there. Some of it needs to be updated, but for the most part, what I was actually reading was actually printed out on the agenda, as well as the agenda is posted, has to be posted on the website. And but I do agree with you, that information, the updated community engagement policy piece, that definitely needs to kind of be disseminated more. It had not been posted on the website, but that information was one of the things that the governance committee had to make sure it was done before the end of September going into October, because that was one of the rules or laws that was actually changed from Jeff City that we had to carry out. So that's why we were really pressing to make sure that was done.
President
Yeah.
Cousin,
Yes,
I wanted to make a
Secretary.
public comment.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I felt the need while I was sitting up that the rest of my board members, I wanted to take my phone out so bad and record what was happening in front of me. And I think I spoke to you about this as well, that the need to have security cameras stationed behind us to record in front of us what's going on, the pictures of people and the behaviors or what have you. And when we start talking about school safety and security, not just for ourselves as board members, we're important, but sure, as well as anyone else that's attending the board meetings that might not be participating in some of these activities that were going on, because there were extra things going on in front of us. If you can see, because I got really nervous because I saw a lot of players in the audience that were really unsavory people, and a lot of back and forth through that door. And I don't know who was monitoring what was going on, but we don't have to show the people's picture to give them a boost of public recognition on camera, but at least we have that for security purposes where it can be reviewed as to what was going on in front of us and a full view all around the room. So we'll know what's going on when public comment happens.
I totally agree, Secretary Jones.
Yeah, I agree, Secretary Jones. I've seen some of the video posted on social media from individuals in the back of the room or in the hallway or outside. And it was very clear that it was an organized effort of agitation, that it was, clearly not genuine concern about parents coming to speak, that this was certainly something that was just meant to escalate and escalate and escalate to try and see how we would react. And if any way that we can, it's just not necessary. We can have, well, listen, I mean, over the last year, there have been opportunities to engage for community engagement like I think none other. I mean, we had focus groups, surveys regarding the superintendent search, extensive surveys and focus groups facilitated to really get meaningful community feedback. Going back 2 years ago, we had the community visioning workshop, extensive community feedback. And then through the 18 months of the citywide plan, there were bi-monthly community engagement town hall meetings where anybody could come and speak. So it's not like we are not providing outlets for legitimate concerns to be expressed to us. I also feel like all 7 of us are really quite readily available. I talk to people all the time. We've been going out to community meetings, 3 in the last 3 months around the city. So, I mean, in order for us to conduct the business of the Board of Education, in order to respect the staff who stays late, who works on these presentations for the community, we just can't ever have this again. And this has happened before. This is cyclical. These organized groups, these same groups that were paid for by the same people, did this before to this Board of Education, and they will do it again. But we need to really seriously consider being unified as a board to stand up to this sort of nonsensical bullying. Because really what it does is it drowns out the really legitimate voices of our parents, our families, our students, and our teachers. You know, I felt horrible that through all that disruption, there were teachers from CSNB and CVPA who had some legitimate concerns that thankfully, you know, Dr. Scarlett and Dr. Borsjade were able to meet with the principals the next day and do that. I mean, they didn't need to come to the board to get that level of attention, but they were there and they didn't have an opportunity to have that level of engagement. And there's probably others as well. And so I don't know what the solution is necessarily, but the bylaws that we have are very clear. They restrict the time, place, and manner of public comment. And we just need to be not only coherent as a board, but also the board and all of the district staff need to be coherent. And these are the rules, these will be followed. These are the consequences for not following them.
But Matt, I just wanted to say that make sure that we start to really shine our light real bright, because whenever you have bad actors, they don't like the light shined on them. But when we start talking about all the great things that SLPS is doing, because they had a whole laundry list of things they thought were so bad, but we didn't have our laundry list of all the things that are really good, you know, readily available for them. So, but we have done that in the past, but we're really going to have to fight back with all the great things that we're doing in the district now.
Well, I think Secretary Jones, that, you know, a great example were those 2 presentations that we had that followed. There was an excellent presentation by Dr. Crapo about being very intentional about making sure that we have the most effective community partnership, something that I think is almost unprecedented in this school district and is very exciting and provides a lot of opportunity to make meaningful change in the district, especially among the schools and students that don't get as much and need more support. The same thing with the data and you know, there was an enormous amounts of information. We talk about deeper learning as a school board. That was a prime example. You know, that just really sort of ignited in me a lot of other you know, questions and follow-ups and excitement around recognizing what our challenges are, making sure that our data is in alignment, so we're doing those measurements and making sure that the resources are allocated correctly. I mean, that's our job. So, you know, and they don't want to hear that. I mean, they don't want us to be successful. I mean, that's the thing. You know, the going back to the 2 resolutions that we passed today, both of those are concerning organizations who have really sworn allegiance to tear down this school district. So, I mean, I think that's one way that we need to fight back. And I'm glad that those passed unanimously, and that this elected school board is finally going to stand up for these students and against these special interests, because enough is enough. And that's what happened on Tuesday. That's what happened that's going to happen tomorrow at the State Board of Education. That's what happened with this grant. And we are no longer for sale.
Amen.
With that being said, I want to definitely commend the board as well as the staff and Dr. Scarlett. What could have happened didn't happen. We could have easily ended the meeting and went home and let them win, but we didn't. We stayed, we went back to do what we said we were there to do, the business of the district. We could have folded and just let them win and you know, tucked our tail between our legs and just went on about our business. But just what board member, Vice President Davis and Secretary Jones has said, we stood strong and we did what we were supposed to do. Chief Van Noy, Dr. Crapo, Ms. Banks, your presentation brought value to exactly what we were there to do. And that was the business of this district. We do have a lot of work to do. Overall, Watson, Colonel Davis, you guys did protect us. You didn't, you know, you did what you were supposed to do. We do have to put some guardrails in place to better protect us, like what what Secretary Jones is saying. But at the end of the day, as the 7 board members, we stayed there and we did what we had to do to get the work done. And we couldn't have and wouldn't have done it without the support of the staff. So I thank you guys for what you did. And that's what we have to continue to do. That's how we show them, Secretary Jones, that we're here to fight for this district and for the kids. So I thank you guys for that. We could have easily given up and we didn't. So let's just keep at it. Is there any more questions or discussions?
I would, again, I guess, I don't know what it is. If we could get documents sooner, I would really appreciate it. Give us more time to do a good job with our work.
Thank you, Board Member Hubbard. As a reminder, I want to make sure that as board members, we do know that a lot of us have a lot of different moving parts. We do have the governance committee that we need to really start moving a lot of things forward. The legislative committee, we have a lot of things that need to be kind of moving through that particular committee as well. So a lot of the things that we have that are going, like Vice President Davis said, a lot of things are moving faster than we expect. So we need all hands on deck. Board Member Val, thank you so much for always being there, knowing them Robert rules. You're always a lifesaver on the Robert rules. Keep it up, Board Member Val. We need you in that category. With that being said, if there's no other questions, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Ms. Henry.
Mr. Hikes,
Yes.
Ms. Weiss,
Yes.
Ms. Hubbard,
Yes.
Ms. Val,
Yes.
Ms. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Cousins,
Yes,
we are adjourned.
thank you.